Alright, real quick, time for the first Rise 2 devlog. Now, Rise 2 has been in development hell period for a bit now, and I've just been trying to figure out what to do with it, how it should go, whatever. And the 2D gimmick has been, the 2D to 3D gimmick has been scrapped, whatever, it's fine. Now, as you can see, this is Welmer, and as you can see, the camera follows him as he moves, unlike Rise 1, where it was just in a set position, and only moved when you killed all the enemies. The way this game's going to work is once you kill all the enemies, you go to the next room, and then it's a different area entirely. So each screen is its own big open thing like this, or smaller, or whatever. Each one will be a different size. Now, Welmer here, obviously, that's his first skill, accidentally pressing the button, but whatever. Welmer, obviously, here will have the standard like stuff from Rise 1, but there's a few changes. Number one, every character now has a 3-hit combo, and the way hitboxes work have been changed. Now, instead of the entire character being a hitbox like Rise, it now functions like a more evolved version of Takeover and Knight's hitboxes, but instead of just being the same, a mirrored version of the player with different parts selected to hit the enemies, the way the hitboxes work in Rise 2 is that they're actually an entirely separate thing that's projected as squares and stuff, you know, like normal hitboxes. Knight's hitboxes worked fine, they were just weird, some of them were wonky though, and they work better in Rise 2 I think. Now, Welmer has a 3-hit combo, like I said, every character will have at least a 2-hit combo, some will have more than that, so if you just press the button fast enough, you'll do them. If you hold in the button, it'll work, but if you wait too long, the combo resets. So 1, 2, press, 1, 2, if I press, first of the combo, but if I press, 1, press, you can see if I just press, it does it. Now if we go over here to Skiz, this is the test enemy, he's a scarecrow. Even though he's in stage 2, I made him first because he's a scarecrow. And the tradition in Maximus and the tradition, at least how Maximus 2 does it, is the training dummy, specifically in the arena, is a scarecrow. And BM1, it's a scarecrow. For some reason, in BM2, it's a Morbash. I guess because Scarecrow is a playable character in BM2. But whatever. So he's the test dummy. Even though he's a stage 2 enemy, I just put him here because he's a scarecrow. Specifically, he's modeled after what Lone Star's scarecrow would look like, hypothetically, if Lone Star had his own scarecrows. By the way, Lone Star was blue at some point, and that's a fun fact. But that's first hit combo, third, 1, 2, 3. So that's how that works. They get knocked back slightly, but only horizontally. That's how they work. And the second thing, by the way, you have to be on a similar elevation to the enemy for it to work. So if you're fighting a really tall enemy and you're up here hitting their head, it won't work. You have to be down near their level. Where Skiz is so short, that does not matter at all. Unless you're below him, I guess, because Welmer's quite tall, which means his fists are a different height, essentially, from most characters. Welmer's quite big. What that essentially means is that there's a 30 difference between the range of the hitbox and, there's a 30 difference. So if you're over 30 above the enemy in terms of units, it doesn't read the attack, and if you're over 30 below, it doesn't read. It's kind of an issue with Welmer where he's so tall, but whatever. It shouldn't be that big of an issue. Now for the knockback attack. Only one of Welmer's skills is coded in yet. His other move, which is a spin move similar to Bolo's from BM2, is not programmed in, but his K move, which is the first skill, is. So it's the running thing that the bears do in Maximus 2. By the way, Welmer's name is a pun. It comes from Overbearer, Underbearer, Overwhelmer, Underwhelmer, Just Welmer. That's where the name comes from. But anyway, you press the K button, and that happens. Now, this is a similar version of the knockback system from Knights. Obviously, it had to be modified where this is a different space, but it still functions, essentially. And if you're curious why the enemies don't seem to be getting knocked back that far, that's because of how Welmer's run move is programmed in. He gets faster as he runs, so the start of the run is going to be slower than the end of the run, which means he'll eventually catch up with the enemy after they get knocked back. Which puts you in the perfect position to do that immediately afterward, or use the spin. The spin would make more logical sense. Now, this isn't just an animation like it was in Rise 1. Just like Knights, it's actually on engine. So that rotation you see as the enemy falls is the game manually rotating it instead of them being separate image files and different sprites. Not different sprites, but different image indexes of the same sprite like it was in Rise 1. That's really all I have to say for this one, but yeah.